Hello, friends. Welcome to the second section of part 3 of mental health and homeopathy. Today, we have a special guest from Bangalore, Dr. Sheetal Bidri. She is a very good friend of mine and she is currently practicing in Bangalore. She has finished her MD and she has been topped the university, Bangalore University. She is a pediatrician, that is, she mainly deals with children as a whole, so we can get another fresh perspective about mental background, mental illnesses of in children as well. So, without wasting further time, let's welcome Dr. Sheetal Bidri. Hello, how are you?
Hi Arga, how are you?
मैं तो एकदम बढ़िया.
अच्छा
How
কেমন
उधर
আছে গো
कैसा
তোমার
चल रहा
ফির কেমন আছে
है? ভালো আছে.
আচ্ছা
Acha. Another thing I would like to, this is an opportunity to introduce a person very good. She is a very big fitness enthusiast. She is a great runner. And basically, for all homeopaths around India, I can surely bet on one thing that she is going to beat you in running.
I don't think
Correct?
so. I don't think so. I am a very amateur runner, so I'm just starting to learn it. I don't call myself as a good runner at all.
But I think so. At least you run. Most of us are
I make it
basically
a point
sitting,
to keep my fitness levels to one, extent that I won't end up in
and that
any
shows.
illnesses, and it helps me in my mental health also, so that I'm more calmer
That is
and
very
more
much
focused in
important.
my clinic. So whenever I'm running, I have a high load of energy that lasts throughout the day for me. So yeah, I think running helps me in keeping my mental health in a thumbs up mode.
It's a very good thing, and I always take inspiration from this much part, because if everyone who knows me can tell me quite frankly that how much I'm into fitness.
Really? Then we should run together, Olga. We should run together.
Come to Kolkata and
You
I'll
should
run
come to
with
Bangalore. मेरा
daily.
कोलकाता आना हो गया अभी वापस आऊंगी अगले साल देखेंगे कोरोना नहीं है तो.
Acha. So for starting the discussion, let's start off in a general mode. What kind of cases do you see in your place, in your clinic?
See, Olga, be it in my clinic or in my online consultation. So I do a lot of online consultations since almost now 3 years plus, and the common thread I see, in most of my cases is that most of them are psychosomatic, and they feel that they are unaware of the situation where they are in, and they usually come up with a physical symptom, for example PCOD, thyroid, rheumatic arthritis, and arthritis, joint pain, sleeplessness, and so all these physical symptoms what they come across only on case taking, like like our homeopathic case taking can be therapeutic in its own way. So once they start taking their cases, they start to realize that they are going through something much deeper within them, and this just not the superficial physical level. So it becomes my job as a homeopath to make them aware of their patterns, what they are going through, and try to help them heal from that root cause, what can be triggering their state of mind and in turn their body. So first I will always say there's a mind and body connection, and since because of that mind and body connection, unless and until there's an underlying stress situation or something which is bothering them internally, until they are addressing that, their physical complaints do not heal to a greater extent. Probably to a ऊपर से हो जाता है, but अगर उसमें deeply if you want
There's always
some healing.
there's always a relapse, and there's
Correct.
symptoms change their nature.
Correct. So long term, it doesn't really help. So if you're talking in terms of especially this COVID scenario, I can tell you that so many of my old patients and my new patients, they would come directly to me that doctor मेरे को काम करने का मन नहीं कर रहा है. Doctor, I think I'm depressed. Doctor, I'm feeling very anxious. And this is the awareness that I brought in my patients, that your state of mind is equally important as your physical health, or your lab reports, or आपका blood workup या USG scan या CT scan, वो सब तो is important. But I, as a homeopath, I feel so good when they are coming towards me, telling that, I'm feeling anxious today, I'm feeling depressed today, and I think this corona is making me this, making me that. So everybody have their own sort of a feeling, own sort of a you know um, expression to whatever they are subjected to. So this is a stressful situation for all of us, and we have to address all our mental issues in a more individualistic way. So once you meet a homeopath is only when you realize that each of us are different, and each of us, even if you're depressed, each of us feel differently when we are in the depressed situation. So
Exactly.
that is what, as homeopaths, we respect. That's the individualization of every case, and that once we deal with that and give a medicine, it beautifully comes out in their follow-ups, and they can come and tell you that, doctor, today I feel much more calmer. I have good energy levels to do my work. I'm more enthusiastic towards doing my work. So that becomes something, you know I think job satisfaction बोल सकते हैं उसके लिए.
Exactly. This is even so. I'll share one such thing. The same thing. Whenever the patient in my place, Kolkata, West Bengal, people generally are not so much aware of their own emotions. They tend to suppress them. They don't tend to express them a lot. So even most of the patients who are coming to us are mostly psychosomatic in kind. And even in one scenario, something, a very peculiar thing actually happened in my clinic. A patient of mine, she came to me with chronic pancreatitis. She said after entering the clinic itself, "Sir, I am having chronic pancreatitis. Can you treat it or not?" I said, "Sure, I can. Definitely, I can. Let's sit and take the case." While taking the case, she was so angry,
Okay.
like she was totally irritated because of the questioning. So many questions were coming. As you know, in a homeopathic case taking, we need to ask many things.
That's
And while taking her mental history, she was like, "I'm very much irritated. I'm all the time irritated. Even sitting here talking so much, it's making me irritated." So I just started saying, "Okay, what do you feel like doing when you are irritated, when you are angry? What do you do?" And then I generally throw stuff. Whatever is within my reach, I'll throw. I was like, I just in a comedy kind of thing and to humor it. I was like, "Please don't throw anything there, okay?" "Do you feel like throwing anything at me?" Okay, "Yeah, I feel so, but I know it's wrong." And
अपने
fortunately,
क्लिनिक में कुछ
actually,
ऐसा एड़ा टेढ़ा मत रखना आपसे अर्गा.
मेरे पास मेरे टेबल में बहुत कुछ रहता है, बट वट एवर द थिंग इज, आई गेव अ मेडिसिन. 1 महीने का मेडिसिन दिया था, बट फॉर सम रीजन शी टुक ओनली फर्स्ट 4 days or 6 days of medicine and said, "I'll take the rest of the medicines after a week." Oh, okay, no problem, no problem with me. So first prescription, you can think, I gave Staphysagrine. I took the whole mental history as well, and there was pretty much suppressed insults in the background, and all the mental symptoms and characteristics were pointing out. The main thing which was surprising was after 4 days she came back just to take her medicine,
अच्छा.
and the irritation which was like showing in her face from the beginning of the session of the first time, that had suddenly gone. And that day she came to my clinic, sat down. She was so calm, and she was like, that day she started expressing everything. She did not say much about what was the suppressed insult and what how were her emotions hurt. But the second day she just started opening up. Okay, this and this happened with me. Ajay, how's your anger right now? I just asked her. I said, "No, I'm not angry. I'm feeling quite good." Like, uh, and I actually told her, okay, since she was taking first 4 days of medicine, I told her, okay, after 4 days when you meet me, you'll see how your anger is. अच्छा,
Hmm.
she was like, "अच्छा 4 दिन राग कमे जावे." হ্যাঁ দেখুন না কেমন থাকেন, and she was like, when she came back and said কি রাগ কমেছে, and she was like হ্যাঁ রাগটা তো অনেকটাই
হয়ে গেছে।
কমেছে। and I was like देखो पानी पिला के पूरा गुस्सा ठंडा हो गया, और क्या चाहिए, दवाई खाते रहो अच्छे रहोगे।
Hmm.
अच्छा, so Sheetal, uh, you said you do online consultations, right? So these are generally in your area, means only in Bangalore or in the southern part of the India or throughout the country?
It's throughout the country actually, and one or two even outside the country. I mean, I think now before okay, shayad. Outside the country, I have a few, but throughout the country, I think I have not counted how many cities,
No,
but
no, no.
all
I'm
over,
just
like Dehradun ho, Rajasthan ho, Bihar mein hai, फिर even West में है, मुंबई से है, पुणे, even the smaller cities from in Karnataka, I'm seeing that also, like Gadag, Hubli, या फिर Rani Benur. So all these small places, they are able to reach out because वहाँ पे healthcare उतना है नहीं. So I can do an online consultation and I can send them a courier. courier से भेज देती हूँ, 1-2 दिन में आ जाता है. So I think I have a vast ऊपर से नीचे सब जगह है.
that is a very good thing. Actually,
I think
my
technology
intention of
has helped us so much that we are able to reach out
definitely
to
means
different areas, and I think I'm more happy to serve the smaller cities where the healthcare is not so available, and helping them. I think that helps out for us also
yeah,
and for them
right
as
now
well.
even most of the cities don't have a proper homeopathic shop.
That's true.
And while even prescribing medicines before, I used to think I have to prescribe within common medicine, within this selected potencies. I can't go for very high potencies or very low potencies because they are not going to be available. Right now, it's like oh, if you are not finding this medicine, don't worry, I'll courier it to you. If you want to take the prescription, I give them prescription. If you want to buy, you can buy it locally. Whatever is not available, just tell me, I'll send it by courier, or I can send the whole medicine through courier itself. Technology has helped a lot.
Yes,
So
definitely.
actually my intention of asking this was, the patients you get from Bangalore, from Karnataka, from various parts of South India, what do you see, means are the people more aware about their emotions, more conscious about this mental health? What do you feel? Because in my state, in this region of the country, eastern side, and especially West Bengal, Bihar, UP, Odisha, most patients which I have seen, mostly they don't give a single regard to their mental sphere as at all. Very few selected people are actually expressing out what they actually feel. What do you feel, means in your side? Because as we know, in the downside, in the southern part, the literacy rate is very much higher than most of the country. So are people more aware about this mental health, about their own mental health, or it's still a stigmatic theory about mental health there also?
So I think people are way aware right now because of so much of propagation on the social media and everything. So people are getting more aware since. If I'll tell you about Bangalore, like if there are more, if I'm seeing only from Bangalore, there are many IT professionals, and they are all having these desk jobs, and they have a lot of commitments. They have loans, they have homes that they have to run. They are away from their homes, so they start feeling that emptiness or that isolation and feeling alone. So all these things, they are aware of it, but they do not address it. What you're talking about, the stigma, वो तो रहेगा ही थोड़े दिन तक, until and unless as healthcare professionals we should break that stigma for them and make it more normalized for them to look out for health, you know health care for their mental health. For example, I'll tell you a case yesterday. Just yesterday, there was a case of, she's a very regular patient. She was actually come to collect medicine for her sister. But since it was not the usual time when I've come for the collection, so if I just come for delivering the a medicine, but she ended up talking to me that Sheetal, I really wanted to talk to somebody about my state of mind because abhi मेरे को all these symptoms what I'm getting, I'm very feeling very anxious. I've lost my job. I feel worthless. अभी मेरे को हर चीज में doubt आ रहा है. हर चीज में I'm feeling very scared about something is going wrong. I feel like the even when I'm going to do puja, I feel that there is some grudge that the god is having against me. So it was for her to come and address that. It was a big deal because she
Definitely,
wanted
it's
to
a
come
big
out
deal
and
everywhere.
talk to somebody about it, and she was not able to share with anybody in the family because all these emotions they won't understand. So when she spoke to me, I think she spoke to me for almost an hour, and she was telling me in that thing that I wanted to talk to somebody, but I don't know if I should go for a therapist or what. So I just came to you, and I feel so much better halfway there talking to you about it. She even cried in front of me, and after that whole process of hearing out to her, then even I would also do something called as a homeopsychotherapy, where we get to know their remedy and then help them get aware of their particular pattern and help them to break out of that. Because awareness is the key. So once she's aware, she wouldn't react to certain things upon it. So she was a very old patient of mine, and when she had initially come, when her first consultation was almost with me was almost like 3 years ago, 3-4 years ago. And back then she had all these clairvoyance. Matlab, she would have these very she would think about something, and wo ho jata hai. And she
It
had
would
a lot of
happen.
suspiciousness on her husband. She had a lot of she came for a complaint of piles, and and all these mental symptoms were there. That time I told her that these are the mental symptoms you are having, and I made her aware of it at that moment itself, that you need to tell me in detail about whatever you're feeling. Tell me in detail so that I can help you with the best remedy which is suitable for you as a person, as a whole. And the best part is, after that first dose I gave her, like I said, one and only single dose.
I
And
know.
I think her piles went away. It's been 3 years now. Her piles abhi tak wapas kuch bhi nahi aaya hai. And the clairvoyant dreams have gone completely. She has a more cordial relationship with her family and husband, and things were getting much more better for her on a general note. So the reason why I shared this case was a huge follow up. Na 3 years back, abhi wapas se usko ho raha hai. So she was able to come and tell me her direct mental symptoms because I made her aware of it. So that becomes with any patient that come to me, I make it a point that I am educating them about how homeopathy works. It becomes a part of our duty as a homeopath to tell them that all of these questions that we ask are not to irritate you or make you angry, but it is to analyze the person you are as a whole and give you the best selected remedy. So we need the bull's eye, not idhar udhar ka nahi, but directly bull's eye pe dalna hai. So when you get the bull's eye, you will be off medicine sooner than you think you can. So I always educate them about why I'm asking you so many questions and what kind of treatment I'm planning to give you. And the whole goal of my treatment would be to get you off medicines. And that is why I want you to be very, जैसे कि बोलते हैं ना, lawyers और doctors से कुछ
Be very
छुपाना
much
नहीं है.
thorough.
So I
Yeah.
tell them the same thing. Don't hide anything. Even the deepest of deepest things you want to tell, you just tell me. Once I close my laptop, I wouldn't even, there's a professional secrecy again. So I wouldn't even tell anybody about you, because families रहते हैं, they come as a family. You cannot really, they're scared that will my mental health be मेरे नानी को या फिर मदर को पता चल गया तो क्या
Huh.
होगा and all that. So all
Yeah,
these
this is
things
a
become
very huge
very
thing.
important to educate our patients. I think as a homeopath, I think as a younger age group of homeopath, I think we should start educating so that people also get more aware about what homeopathy is doing as a whole to them, and not just their particular part of the body which is having a problem.
Exactly, same thing occurs in my clinic as well. That educating a person first, but let me refrain from it one a little bit. Actually, in my clinic, there are many people who can understand this all these things, and when I see those people that they can understand what I'm going to say, I literally explain them everything, and I try to go more thorough and thorough. So, and when they have got so many questions, I try to make them understand that this is for your treatment purpose, for a better point of view, and to hit a very specific point. I need these things. And if you are more, the more you are open with this, and I in fact generally whenever I'm taking a case, during that process is also I do a bit of counseling, and that moment itself, that see, when you open up about your problems to someone, at least if there's no friends or no relatives you can open up to, you open up here. Because if you open up here, I can tell you what can you do, and I can help you. But if you keep yourself more shut and more shut down, you are going to develop more and more diseases. This is, and I explain what is psychosomatic diseases, and I even so the best part I do in my clinic is that whenever I understand some medicine is being indicated, like say in any patient natrium is being indicated, and I have got to understand by taking first two or three generalities itself. Then after that, it's like a totally predictive thing. Like, okay, you don't चावल रोटी में रोटी तो उतना पसंद नहीं है ना? हाँ, हाँ sir. And it goes like that. And after that, when it comes whenever the mental general comes, it's kind of I do a retrospective thing. Means from the physical general, when I get something of a medicine and I know this can be the mental background, I just go poke there itself. When a staphylococcus aureus patient, I know it's staphylococcus aureus. I don't go over like what is the grief. I go, what is has there been any kind of situation where you feel you may have been insulted very much and you couldn't say a word about it or to anyone? And I do this kind of thing. It's a little bit different than your approach, and I try to educate in that place only. This is important. It's not that if you shut yourself down, your problems will go away. You need to address your problems, and this is the only way I can help you. Also, the best thing and most interesting thing you see, and I even myself, I don't get these bunch of cases, are children. So in children, basically, what we get is the normal problems like cough, cold, fever, and on special cases are only autism, ADHD. These are basically, even what happens in today's clinic is that people come with cough and cold, and after seeing the behavior, I need to tell their parents that your child might be suffering from autism or ADHD, and they are quite they don't even understand how did this happen. So actually my question I would like to ask you is that what are the things you have seen affecting the mind of a child, and how does it develop diseases, and can you please enlighten us?
So
Not enlighten us, discuss about
I
it.
can just tell you what I know. I mean, I think I know only this
Exactly,
much,
exactly.
and and in that also a
Me
point
too,
was
this much only. We are
so,
discussing this much only.
because pediatrics is a vast subject and child psychology is a bit more complicated because
Than adult psychology.
huh
Child psychology is very much complicated than adult psychology.
you
Yeah,
think
from
so,
this.
but you know what, with the children it is very easy to understand them because they are just face value na? They don't have any inhibitions, they don't have anything to
They don't mask
worry
anything.
about. ऐसा नहीं है कि कुछ छुपा रहे हैं वो लोग या फिर कुछ कुछ और बोल रहे हैं. There's no hindering thing, there is no lies, they are so साफ दिल के रहते हैं बच्चे,
Pure.
most of
Yeah.
them at least, and they tell you whatever it is. So there are different ways to handle children, and nowadays I am not seeing a lot of cold cough in children because they are staying at home and they're not exposing themselves to their play schools or the pollution or the travel. Thoda allergic tendencies have come down, and children right now, because of this COVID, it's been a boon to them because they are spending so much time with their
With their family.
family and their parents especially. So I think COVID has been the best gift for children, and they are enjoying their best, I feel. So coming to what are the common ailments, I think from loss of appetite to cold cough, or difficulty in concentration, not able to write, like not able to write properly, not able to calculate, not able to the memory power being a bit less. अभी पढ़ता है अभी भूल जाता है, या फिर अभी पढ़ता है like कभी कभी याद रखता है, कभी कभी याद नहीं रखता है. But whenever we try to teach him, he doesn't understand things. When he's learning, his mind is somewhere else and he's not able to concentrate. These are the common things. Like even for the matter of fact, agar they're not putting on weight also. They, it's not just the nutrition from the food, but there might be an emotional deprivation also. Not just physical, but also an emotional deprivation from the parents, which will
This
not
is the
let them
part I
put
really
on
want to know.
weight. And otherwise there is other things like enuresis, bedwetting, very common in children, with little bit of fear, little bit of anxiety with the children, and they end up in bedwetting or anxiety, enuresis, what you call. Even secondary enuresis, मतलब अभी ब्लैडर कंट्रोल हो गया है, फिर भी 12 साल के बाद 13 साल के बाद they are getting bedwetting because of an situation that they have gone through, a stressful situation, और शायद punishment हो गया हो स्कूल में, and उसके बाद उन्होंने bedwetting चालू कर दिया है, या फिर माँ बाप ने कुछ बोल दिया, थोड़ा रेप्रिमांड कर दिया और उनको ऐसा bedwetting चालू हो गया. Things like that. So some small things also can lead to the graver issues of the mental health. But these small things of children depends on individual again, and also their influences, how the parenting has gone through, what are the cultural influences, what are the social influences, agar parents are letting them mingle with the other children or not, if the parents are very too overprotective, or parents are not encouraging them in extracurricular activities, or they want to do football but उन्होंने cricket में डाल दिया हो. So things, all these things bring, the minutest things bring conflict in the children's mental health, and they suffer within themselves. They start combating, क्या बोलते हैं, because a lot of dominance, and they don't have a voice to get back. They start suffering from within themselves. So that becomes a bit.
This is very true.
And also there is a lot of separated parents now. So because माँ का प्यार मिल जाता है, बाप का प्यार रह जाता है, या फिर बाप का प्यार मिल रहा है और together they're not going to get the same kind of love, and they feel jealous of the other children. So things of that sort also are coming. And another very common thing is sibling rivalry. That also
Sibling jealousy.
और also वो भी आ जाता है, क्योंकि जब भी नया बच्चा आ जाता है घर पे, तो थोड़ा ओल्डर बच्चा को ऐसे लगता है कि he's been neglected, या भी मेरे को प्यार नहीं करते मम्मी डैडी ने, मेरे भाई आ गया है तो मेरे को मम्मी डैडी प्यार नहीं करते, तो फिर they start showing signs of attention seeking. तभी that, if it is not handled in the initial stages, that can go into ADHD or any other thing. So what I'm trying to say is, even children go through certain mental up and down, but it doesn't mean that they are suffering very gravely, or you make it a big उसको एक नाम नहीं देना चाहिए, like how Hahnemann says, not to give speculations नहीं करना चाहिए, but you have to have be more keen on healing. I mean, that's what I try to do than helping them out. So I'll tell you one case. Recently I think it was a child of 7 years or 6 or 7 years hai bacha, and he is a bit in a situation where the father is out of station, and abhi to COVID hai, wapas bhi nahi aa sakte. So most of the life the mother has taken care of him, and he is very vocal. He's very vocal about whatever he wants, whatever he says. He understands maturity is also very well, but he has started to fondle with his genitals in a very young age. So that becomes difficult for the mother to also accept it, but उसको ना भी नहीं बोल सकते, and you can't really reprimand him for him because वो ज़्यादा करेगा. So that became one of the key features. Like the mother didn't know if she had to look out for treatment or help. So in a holistic way, we are dealing with that patient where we are taking help of a child psychologist, me as a homeopath, the mother as a good mentor, बात करने के लिए. So the child itself, he himself, he asks for private time because he enjoys fondling with his genitals. So if you know the rubric, the only remedy,
Before.
Buffo. So Buffo wants solitude to practice masturbation. I took it in that way. So with Buffo, he's doing far better. He doesn't remember कि उसको जाके he has to fondle his genitals. He doesn't. So he doesn't ask for this private time or ये क्या है. So that curiosity has come a little bit down, but not completely there. But I think with
Completely.
Buffo, we'll be able to help him down the line. So things like that also start coming up. And moreover, this kind of situation is very critical in this era where children are so vocal, children are so understanding towards the newer nuances of the life. So we can't
Children are too much
really
exposed.
अभी ऐसे नहीं बोल सकते चुप क्या कर रहा है मार खाएगा ऐसे तो नहीं कर सकते सो वी हैव टू हैंडल देम इन अ मोर प्यार से ताकि उसको कुछ लगे ना कि ही इज बीन reprimanded or he's been asked to do something against his will. So all that, and also if I can show you, like, every child has
Yeah.
their own thought process, no? So kabhi bhi I ask them to doodle whenever they come. So like things like this I would see this there. So they draw all these things, and they you know I ask them to say what is the story. Tell me what is the story. Uska kya hai story? What do you want to tell me in this? So there is a theme what they will do. So see, there is something else. So all everything I ask them to doodle. Who is this? What is this? So they will according to their likes and their wanting to do something. They will start doodling them. And once you ask them what is this, they start expressing कि ये है वो है. This is the thing what I want. This is what I enjoy. So the theme becomes a bit
That's a very good way to know them actually.
so one patient, what happened, he would do a lot of ambulance, police, ये वो मेरे को जाके उसको rescue करना है. All these stories, I would sit with the child for at least 10 to 15 minutes to show him a story. I mean, so he would tell me a story, and he did very well on Nicolum, and it came out to be a very nice case of Nicolum. But another case where the child was so intellectually ऊपर, मतलब he was so IQ उसका बहुत high था, and he actually made a comic strip. He's just like 10 years below 10 years. He make a comic strip and he emailed it to me. And he told me,
Wow.
I'll tell you the story about it later. So things like that, the children also start becoming more comfortable with you, so that they can tell whatever they are feeling and not get worrying about it. One other important thing in children, what I see, is bullying. School में, there's a lot of bullying that goes through, like, बच्चे एक दूसरे को नीचा दिखाना, या फिर they pull their leg, and the teasing goes on. Not all children take it in a productive way. Some people go through a lot of inner conflict, so they go into their own shell. So that is something what also has to be addressed, because school going में ये भी हो सकता है. So depending on the different age groups, everybody we can have, from the basic mental health issues to something graver like ADHD, autism, or schizophrenia. All these things can happen. So there are an array of cases that we are seeing in the clinics now. It's just not stuck to cold cough fever, things. We are getting cases of now, like anxiety disorder, or post-traumatic stress disorder हो, या schizophrenia हो, initial stage of schizophrenia हो, या फिर violence or suicidal impulses, homicidal impulses. All these things have become very, very matlab, people are aware that this is not normal and they need help. And people are moving towards an era where they're taking help of homeopaths, and alongside a psychiatrist, or a psychologist. So now I think homeopaths are also becoming one of the key people who are taking care of the mental health of our population. So I think we are doing good job by doing our bit for the society.
Exactly. Even so, but I even get these kind of cases. I just got a case a few months back during the lockdown itself. It was a 14 or 15-year-old girl with a suicidal impulse, and I was myself shocked to see this kind of things. I did not see this kind of cases before. So I took the case very much thoroughly and tried to address what is has been the root cause of all this. And when I found it out, seriously, actually, I would like to take another opinion of yours. Okay, do you feel what I feel in while seeing most of the children cases, that most of the parents need more medicine than the child itself?
That's true. That's true. We have a lot of anxious parents. So more than the medicine, I think they need to know. They need to make them aware of parenting than having being medicated. But they need to be consoled more than the children. So sometimes once you give the medicine to the child, you should always counsel the parents that how their child will is going through, what is he going through, and how you can help along with the medicine. So things like that help
This
out in the cure.
another very actually interesting case came to my clinic quite a time back before the lockdown, like this year, just previous year, 2019, yeah, 2019. So actually the child was not gaining weight. Okay, it was a 10-year-old girl. She was not gaining weight at all. And nutrition wise, I said that her mother was a nutritionist. You can understand. So everything, whenever she is just coming out of her house, she's demanding, I want this, I want chocolate, I want cookies, I want chips, and every this kind of thing. And every time she used to come into my clinic, she used to be like, I want something, I'm hungry, I want to eat. Okay. For her, actually, generally, I don't have anything to eat in my clinic. Give me a moment. Just pause it now. Okay. So we were talking. I was actually talking about a child whose mother was a nutritionist, and her child was not gaining weight at all. So all the time she would come into my clinic, she would be having this cravings for anything, chips, biscuit, kuch bhi de do, she would be happily having. So I kept some cookies and biscuit for her. And the time she came, she started munching the cookies, and her mom was like, "Hey, please don't give her this kind of thing. She wouldn't go and eat her main dinner."
Correct.
Okay, let her have now, no problem.
Correct.
Let her have some meals. So after a certain, what I understood, that her mother was so much dominant over her, and if the child was basically living in a terror, and whenever she used to go outside, now she's like feeling so much free. Everyone is good, but whenever mother is saying anything, she's like, okay, I'll do it, no worries, please, please don't do anything. It's like that. So a child's mental health and mental background has got a lot to do with their physical health as well,
Correct.
right?
Correct.
So as a doctor, as a pediatrician, what do you advise for all the parents who are just having a newborn baby or having kids, child or children? What can be the supporting steps that their mental health of their children becomes much more better and remains good? That is not better, but remains good. What are your advice for them?
I think the day one of parents becoming parents, uh, parents go through a lot of ups and downs in their thought process. So for example, as a newly made mom, a new mom will have so many questions and anxiety about breastfeeding, have a lot of anxiety. Is this normal for the child? ये बच्चा इतना ज़्यादा सो रहा है, इतना ज़्यादा ये कर रहा है. So all these things are normal for a new mom to go through. So from the day one of the parent becoming a parent till the last breath of them, it is a learning journey. It is something where they develop over a period of time. There are certain influences from their own parents, no doubt, but in the current generation, I think we have to address the fact that how the newer age children are being developed becomes a highlight in their parenting skills. So it's not that, for example, abito, it's not just, like they say, it's not that, only the mother is pregnant. It is the couple
Family
who
is
are
pregnant.
pregnant. So it becomes an equal responsibility of both the parents to be actively involving in the parenting. So in the initial stages, I would suggest that, the parents, both of them, involve in the active bringing up of the child, from the diaper change to the supporting for, breastfeeding, supporting for, the potty training or toilet training. All these things becomes an active, when both the parents are involved, the child becomes more receptive, the child becomes more active in their learning, because there is a constant learning that goes through. So while you're teaching your child to become the, the human being you want, he wanted to be, you have to respect the individuality of the child. The child is not going to grow up to be you. So, or you, what you have to do is that just support them by being, understanding parents, and the new age parents, what I would say that, you have to be more friendly with the children. So that said and done, parents also go through a lot of stress while they are parenting. For
True,
example,
true. That
like I
is
was telling you the
100%.
example of, new mom. I have seen, and I think in the recent past, in the last 1 or 2 years, I've seen so many new moms going through postpartum depression or postpartum mania. So
True.
at that point, they feel that, it's all about the child. What about me? So they start becoming, very low, that, they're losing their identity, they're losing their, integrity, and they feel that they're not able to go to their jobs, they're not able to do the work.
Losing their life as well. In
Yeah,
many
there's a
cases,
lot of
losing their
change
life
that
as
go
well.
through in their life, right? So they go through a lot of depression, and as homeopaths, I think we are able to help them come out of it. But it becomes a job of their family also to support them through this, times where she's going through a lot of change. So similarly, in, let's say there's a parent who is going through this, depression, the kind of bond what she would create with the child also will matter on that. Breastfeeding is one of the most important tools of bonding with mother and child. It could go to, I had a case of, postpartum depression. She did not want to feed the
With her
child.
child.
अभी she would say कि डॉक्टर उसका, मैं, मेरे बेबी मेरा है, बट मेरे को इतना बुरा लगता है कि मैं बेबी को देखती हूँ, मेरे को प्यार नहीं आता है, क्या करूँ? ऐसे लगता है कि वो सबके पास जा रहा है, मम्मी के पास भी जा रहा है, इसके पास भी जा रहा है, उसको लगता है कि मैं माँ हूँ. So that is something the child will develop only by third month. So you have to educate. The recognition of mother becomes only if you create that bond. So that mother, she would have disgust, or she would actually refrain from breastfeeding her child because she did not have that connection. And I think one dose of sepia 1 m helped her to, remove that indifference a bit, and she started bonding with the child with more loving, and also not just the medicine, but also a bit of counseling also would, help her to, come out of it. And this, I feel,
Hmm.
uh, uh, has a direct impact on the child's mental health. The child, I believe that there is an aura what you create, and children are very receptive towards it. So you, if you see a house of, there's a lot of fights that go on, there's a lot of, fighting, argument, all that. The child has an impact on it very soon. So either they would come out in constipation, or irritable bowel syndrome, or enuresis, or even tics, for the matter of fact, and or temper tantrums, thumb sucking, head banging. All these things come out in a, toddler age group, who has subjected to a stressful environment. So it becomes important again to, educate the parent, and, bring out a positive aura or an environment where the child can grow more happily, healthily, and, in a better form, or in a good form, what you just said.
That is what we all want. And definitely, it was a very interesting session. And
Yeah, I think.
I hope I hope I will be seeing you. There's going to be a combined session with all of my speakers of this part
Is it?
in a
Okay.
video.
Okay,
Yes,
okay.
and that was a surprise. So
Okay.
I we will be seeing you again, and there we will see the views from different parts of the country, west, east, north, and south, put together in one place and make India proud.
Okay. Let's hope it goes well. So it was a lovely catch-up session, I would say. And I would want to thank you for having me here. And if I was too talkative, I'm so sorry.
No, I think that has been a very informative session for everyone, and especially for parents. In this session, at least, the best takers of all the advice are the parents. So it was quite a pleasure having you with us, Dr.
Thank you,
Sheetal,
Arga. Thank you. I hope we
and
keep meeting and come down to Bangalore and we can probably,
कोरोना हो गया क्या कर सकते हैं
at
नहीं
least
तो प्लान बना था डेफिनेटली
definitely.
ये
I would want
कोरोना
to come
वोरोना
to
सब हो जाए
Kolkata
उसके बाद
soon.
जाते हैं
I would want to come to Kolkata soon and meet Sarkar sir and you and everybody in the whole homeopathic fraternity.
it was a very time flies when you are enjoying it
I think
actually
so. We
and
actually did a long session and I did not feel that
I
we've
think
been.
a whole hour has passed
Oh my God.
and I think so it's my very brief guess
Estimation. Acha, acha.
but I think it has been a very lovely session and I hope to see you soon in the
Definitely.
next part
Definitely.
okay
Okay.
have a lovely day and another thing I would like to wish you is happy birthday.
Belated. Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you very much.
So I hope the coming years brings you peace, prosperity, and happiness, and may you run towards your goal like you run in the field.
Thank you so much. I'm very touched by your wishes. Thank you so much, Arga.
Okay. Thank you, Sheetal, and have a good day.
You too.
Good night.
Good night. Bye.
Bye.